Shalom Akim, Zahar Spirit Wind Judah of the GMS Mississippi Camp, giving all honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Hawashai, Bahashim Wakakodash. Also, to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone Ruel. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. All right, today I want to go into a live stream entitled No Flesh Shall Be Saved. All right, because if Yahweh Shai doesn't come back, if our Lord and Savior doesn't come back, no flesh shall be saved. And what the spirit has hopped on brothers get into, I can speak for myself, is how this earth is being destroyed by the elites. Because the elites control the framework in which a country is to be run. And one of the main frameworks is capitalism. All right, and through capitalism, you have different corporations, all right, which are in control, all right, of industries being built, all right. But in order to have these industries built, acres and acres and acres of land has to be cleared out. Acres and acres of trees have to be destroyed in a short period of time to produce these industries in which you have slave wages, all right. But not only do you get rid of so many trees, all right, you use so much fossil fuel and you burn it into the atmosphere, all right? You burn it into the atmosphere, all right, and basically it burns a hole in the ozone layer, all right? And you have these fossil fuels coming from these industries and these different plants, along with the exhaust from these different cars, all right? And you have to remember, everybody's concentrated in these cities. So everybody's concentrated in New York. Everybody's concentrated in Atlanta. Everybody's concentrated in Las Vegas. So you have these different plants, or you have millions of cars emitting all type of chemicals. And then what that does, that creates a smog. All right, that creates a smog in the atmosphere in which you put poisons, you're inhaling poisons, and you're inhaling toxins into your body. And not only your body, but into the atmosphere, into the ozone layer, okay? So our very oxygen tank, all right, it's like we're astronauts and you're breathing in an oxygen tank, but somebody puts pollutants in your oxygen tank. So now, and you have an oxygen tank and you're breathing in pollutants. The oxygen tank is basically that ozone layer, man. It's the planet Earth being encircled by the ozone layer. Okay, so I was watching a mini documentary that said every year, is it every year? 100,000 Americans, maybe every month. I don't. It's been a while, but 100,000 Americans every so often, every frequently, they die from air pollution. All right, so you could potentially die from cancer because of air pollution, diabetes because of air pollution. So you could very well be a health nut that goes running every day and still catch cancer because of air pollution. But who's in control of that? Who's in control of these corporations that create these industries that basically deplete the earth of its resources to mass produce goods and services, man? All right. Like I said, then these plants are concentrated in these cities, and then there's millions of cars emitting toxins, and they're all going off what? They're all burning fossil fuel. They're all burning fuel, which goes into the atmosphere, and which we have to inhale that. And furthermore, um, plants and trees are underrated. We don't understand the power and necessity that trees on the planet Earth have. There's a reason why when you look at the planet Earth from a satellite view, it's blue and green because the trees are our life source. They inhale carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen, but they emit it so we can breathe it. All right? So you got flaws in your kingdom. That's why it says in Proverbs, I believe it's 29, when the righteous are an authority. Now, what makes somebody righteous? They follow the law, statutes, and commandments. They implement the law, statutes, and commandments. So when the righteous are an authority, the people rejoice. But are the people rejoicing? Okay. 40% of the world is starving. Did y'all fucking know that? All right. I want to say, um, we only consume. Let me rephrase that. We only consume about 40% of the food that we put on our tables in America. We only consume about 40%. All right, a good amount of the world is starving. Millions of people on Earth don't have consistent meals. They don't really know where their next meal is coming from. All right, it's a lot, and I'm gonna give brother scriptures at the end. Okay, but our oxygen tank is polluted, man. All right, Earth is nothing but an oxygen tank. All right, and the oxygen comes from what? The trees, the plant life. But he gets rid of so many trees and so many plants to build his little industries. All right. Then on top of that, he creates something called plastic because it's easy to mass produce. As a matter of fact, one second. As a matter of fact, one second. All right. Get me speaking of plastic. Speaking of plastic, all right. Have to get a this right here. See this right here when you create things, it has to come from the planet Earth, so it could go back to the planet Earth. That's good economy. All right, that's right, brother. That's good economy. All right, this right here is not biodegradable. So we just the spirit just got on me to go into something that's biodegradable. What is biodegradable? Meaning that when you're done with it, and let's say you throw this bottle on the ground, all right, it gets decomposed through microorganisms. So the bacteria in the soil is supposed to decompose it. But the bacteria, the microorganisms, they don't decompose plastic because it's not a part of nature. Whereas you get like a paper bag, it's degradable because it eventually right back into the earth. It slowly, but it'll do it. But let's say an apple is biodegradable because it'll quickly get decomposed by microorganisms and different bacteria. All right, a brother gifted me a cup made out of clay, but that clay is degradable because it eventually go right back into the earth. Because where does clay come from? It comes from earth anyway. All right, and I think it's a good investment. But although I am drinking this crap, or drinking out of this crap, let's giving an example. This plastic is not biodegradable. All right, and it really doesn't degrade to a full extent. So what happens is it goes on the land and then it eventually get washed into the ocean. All right, where millions and millions of tons of plastic gets into the ocean, but it never degrades to the point where it goes back into the earth or back into its natural form, which it has no natural form. What happens? It gets broken down to something called like a microplastic, and that's when it's consumed by the algae in the ocean, and the different fish in the ocean, and basically it alters existence. All right, we even consume microplastics. All right, through faucet water, man. All right, through our food. All right, because like I said, the Most High's creation goes back to the planet Earth. So anything that you get from the planet Earth because of Yahweh's circle of life, all right, it degrades back into the planet Earth. It decomposes. So when you set up your kingdom, let me get some water right quick. It's a lot. When you set up your kingdom, all right, when you set up your kingdom, you're supposed to establish it to where it self-sustains and you use renewable resources. So, for example, if you have to take down trees to build houses, all right, you give that land time to build those trees up again before you go back into it. You see, if you don't, you have an ineffective system of sustaining your system or your kingdom. Another thing is Gad. Gad kept the land Sabbath. So 6 years you would till that land, but on the 7th year you kept the land Sabbath, or they call it let the land follow. I think it's FALLO. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that 7th year or that Shabbat year, the soil regenerates nutrients. So now on the 8th year, you could go back to that soil and start that 6-year cycle over again. See, a real kingdom, it basically reuses itself. All right, because this man has different chemicals and substances that he made out of chemicals, it doesn't go back to the planet Earth. And what does that do? It creates waste. All right. And then what happens with waste is you have to burn it. And when you burn it, it creates so many pollutions because real waste is supposed to be compartmentalized. So, like I said, you got degradable waste that it just naturally decomposes back to the earth over an extended period of time. Then you have something that's biodegradable, which is broken down through microorganisms. All right. Then you have something that's you have something called compost, which compost is like a rotten apple or a banana. All right, which that basically goes right into being nutrients for the soil. But then you got stuff like this, which it throws the earth out of balance, man. All right. But you have to understand that a lot of us get cancer not because of our diets. Some of us get that diabetes, high blood pressure, that cancer because we're inhaling toxins, man. All right, the air tank, the oxygen tank is polluted, man. All right, let me get these scriptures right quick. We at halftime. All right, Revelation 11 and 18. The nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So who destroyed the earth, man? It wasn't Travante, all right? It wasn't or Hernandez, because let the elites tell it through their media, we're the bad guys. Now who's responsible, all right, for these imbalanced climates, man? Who's responsible for playing God, playing the Most High? All right. But furthermore, who's responsible for not implementing Yahweh's way on earth? All right. It says Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days should be numbered, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Yep. Hey, no flesh should be saved, man. Because you got these impending events based on the goal, they had the population reduced down to 500 million. That's why they're starving these other countries out. Now you have actual countries where people don't know where their next meal is gonna come from. Meanwhile, America wastes, I want to say 60% of the food they consume. I could go back into the numbers, but America only uses like 40% of the food they consume. The other 60% is waste. You see, the Western world wastes, man. All right, that's a system of excess. That's like your sewage system has an overflow. It's not functioning, man. All right, you ever had the problem with your toilet? You had to go and get that snake or that what they call a toilet auger. It's like a long snake. You got to dig in the toilet and turn the thing and get the thing back flushing. All right, your sewage system is messed up, man. Yeah, I don't know what that means, brothers. Disease. All right. Um, Let me go. Second Ezra 9 and 18. When I had created the world, and this is I don't know what translation it is. That GNT. I don't. Is it Givian? I don't know. But it says it's a translation, all right? A different translation besides KJV. Second Ezra 9 and 18. When I had created the world, I supplied it with an abundance of food and a law of profound wisdom. But the people I created live corrupt lives. Man, that's heavy. I read that again. When I had created the world, I supplied it with an abundance of food and a law of profound wisdom. But the people I created live corrupt lives. And hence came the flood, and it's about to be another reset. The flood was a manifestation of a reset. It was Yahweh's reset with his creation. Jeremiah 12 and 4. It says, how long shall the land mourn and the herbs of every field wither for the wickedness of them that dwell therein? The beasts, the beasts are consumed and the birds because they said, let me go back to it. All right. Because they said he shall not see our last end. Isaiah 45 and 18. For thus saith Yahweh that created the heavens, Yahweh himself that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am Yahweh and there is none else. That's right. Well, he did engineer zombies. All right, this man, that's one of his projects that he created, man. All right, just make sure I'm reading that correctly. Okay, hey, no, the water, brother. I just wasn't familiar with that. I'm gonna look that up and start looking up scriptures on that translation because that was a beautiful breakdown. Good news translation. All right, but the point is, man. All right, see, people there's wartime propaganda against Yahweh Shai and the angels, and they're being propagated as being aliens and foreign invaders and UFOs. But really, Yahweh's coming to correct the earth, man. Put it back in order, because from the greater point of view of, or from a divine point of view, they're ruining his house. So it's time to kick them out the house. All right, the house is being corroded and it's abandoned and it's nothing but parties and murder and all type of strife in the house. But the house is being destroyed from the inside out. So the good man that owns the property, he's about to kick out the stewards, man. Okay, but furthermore, right? When you create your governments, when you create your systems, man, they have to have systems where nothing goes to waste. All right, nothing go. Everything is basically reused and recycled. All right, so like the potter, he creates his cups. All right, he creates the cups and the vessels. But those vessels, once they get old, they could go back to the planet Earth and get decomposed back into the earth. All right. Same thing with a farmer. All right, when you plant your crops, then you harvest it around autumn. Well, the crops that you don't use at that time, you just preserve them. You could dry out your fruit. You could make yams and preservatives. All right. That's what the old folks doing back in the country. All right. You could take your fruit and make your yam, make wine. All right. Like I said, you could dry out your fruit. So there's a system to preserve. Nothing goes to waste. But in this country, there's waste. All right. The word for new is kainos, which means refresh. And the earth is going to be refreshed. As it says in Revelation, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. Earth is going to be refreshed, but how's it going to be refreshed? All right, can somebody get Second Peter 2? All right. Second Peter 3, Salak. Second Peter 3 around the 8th verse. All right, but yeah, it's going to be refreshed through what? The thermonuclear weapons, man. Thermonuclear fire. All right, because if you talk to people that's into agriculture, what they'll do, if they want to refresh their land and refresh their soil, they'll set it on fire. All right, but the soil that comes in after that, that new soil, that renewed soil, is going to bring in richer crops. All right. Also, fire is a cleanser. Smoke is a cleanser. All right, that's what smudging is for, is cleansing out the atmosphere. So when those bombs go off, man, all right, all the pollutants in the atmosphere is gonna get decimated. It's gonna get cleared out, man. Okay. So this is Revelation 21 and 5. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And like the brother broke it down, the word for new is kainos, which means refresh. All right, but that marker for refreshing is the thermonuclear destruction, thermonuclear missiles. All right. The water, my brother. Second Peter 3 and 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. That's the thermonuclear wind. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Yeah, the creation within its dominant power structure, this kingdom. The earth also and the works therein shall be burnt up. All right. Hey, the water for tuning in, brothers. All right. I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. All right. This world is about to be refreshed. This earth is about to be refreshed. Jerusalem is about to start blossoming, man. After those missiles, because Israel's gonna get hit by missiles too. All right, and the water Yahweh Shema Shai for using brothers like myself as vessels, and Abba willing, we are deal to the end. We endure into salvation. All right, for our labor is not in vain. But I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Hey, to the next time.